We may never find the legendary fountain of youth, but there are many ways we can fight off disease and other health ailments as we age. Author Johnny Bowden says he has the key to living a longer, healthier life in his new book, The Most Effective Ways to Live Longer. He joins us now to discuss the roadmap to longevity. Johnny, great to see you again. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Delighted to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your latest book.
The Most Effective Ways to Live Longer. Well, what I did is I looked at the ways the body breaks down. And if you look at, for example, inflammation, which is something I talk about a lot in the book, that affects us in every area: our heart, our brain, our joints. If our joints aren't mobile, we can't exercise, we can't move, we start to go through a downward spiral. So some of these things that we can do to really extend life and the quality of the years that we have to do with preventive measures we can be taking right now. And
yet we definitely have to, as we age, make lifestyle adjustments. Is that right?
Yes and no, because if we start early, there's not that many adjustments. The adjustments come from living really badly, making really bad choices for years and years, and then all of a sudden it's like being drowning in debt. You've been spending and spending and spending, and then, yeah, you got to make adjustments because now you're underwater. But if you take those kind of precautions early on, and I started at 38. I mean, I smoked, I was overweight, I looked a mess, I was fat. So you can start at any age, and it's sort of like building a 401k with compounding interest. You get healthier and healthier and healthier and healthier.
It's a great concept. Tell us about the pillars of longevity, something you talk about in your book.
I talk about food, exercise, obviously, some of the things that maybe people don't think of as related to health, like getting better sleep, better quality sleep, spending some time in the sun, reducing stress, protecting your joints, which I think is one of the most important things that you can do. I play tennis 2 hours a day, and I play with guys who are like, got back aches and knee aches, and then they start to slow down. And if you don't do that, it actually is this downward spiral. So these are very important things. Supplements that you can take.
And you have specific advice for each of these things, like the joints, for instance. How do you battle? How do you combat those?
Easy. Joints are fairly easy. There is wear and tear on the joints. There are things you can do to protect the cartilage. Omega-3 fatty acids, the fish oils, these are very protective of the joints as well as the heart and the brain. That's something I think everybody should be on. Vitamin D. We
should be taking those every day. Now, is that why, the vitamin D, is that why you recommend going in the sun? Because you just talked about that. And we also hear we have to be careful in the sun because of, obviously skin cancer. So you're saying go out, use your sunscreen, take your vitamin D.
I think we've become a little sun phobic. We've taken that basically good advice and taken it to the extreme where we're slathering up with 45 SPF to go out to get a thing of milk. We could use 10 minutes a day, a few times a week to get some vitamin D, and even that's probably not enough to get the optimal levels of vitamin D, which has been shown to reduce the risk of cancer, improve mood, improve physical performance in older adults. It just has so many benefits.
I can tell you my husband has started taking it and he raves.
It's great stuff.
Raves. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about diet. How we should be eating, certainly as we age, but always, really. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Well, the green revolution, I mean, if you just think about things that are green and evergreen and new, broccoli, kale, cucumbers, avocados, whole foods. I talk about the Johnny Bowden 4 food groups, which are foods you could have hunted, fished, gathered, or plucked. If it could be plucked off a tree, gathered from the ground, hunted or fished, it's probably good for you. It doesn't come with a barcode. It's pretty simple. It doesn't require a lot of technology. It's just, did it grow? Will it go bad if you leave it outside? Probably going to be a good food for you.
Those are good things. But you also say that there are some things that are especially good for us. You say try to have some nuts every day, some blueberries, green tea.
Superfoods.
Why these?
Well, I wrote an earlier book called 150 Healthiest Foods on Earth, and these were all some of the superfoods. And the reason that they're in there, nuts, for example, 5 times a week of an ounce of nuts reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease 34%.
Wow.
You can't do that with a pill.
Absolutely not.
Blueberries increase memory, or they're helpful for memory in lots of really good, solid experiments. Pomegranate juice lowers blood pressure. In fact, Israeli researchers called it a natural Viagra. So if that's a selling point for guys, I mean, the antioxidant potential of that is enormous, and that reduces one of what I call the horsemen of aging, oxidative damage.
And you say drink a cup of green tea every day?
Green tea is a great drink. Not only does it hydrate, it's got phenols in it that are actually anti-cancer, that speed up the metabolism, and it's got things in it that counteract the caffeine. It's got something called theanine, which is actually very relaxing. So green tea is a fabulous beverage.
Fantastic. And now that we're eating well, that's not enough, though. We have to exercise.
We do.
That has to be part of our life. How often? Do you say every day go out and do something?
Our Paleolithic ancestors traveled 20 miles a day. That's what the human genus was designed to do. So, you know, if you even walk 30 minutes a day, you will reduce the risk of heart disease, and you will even grow new brain cells. That's been shown. It's not enough to lose weight.
You've definitely got to...
You got to do more than that for that. And you got to combine it with diet and protect the joints so that you can actually do the walking. See, so much of it comes back to joint protection and reducing pain so that you can do these things.
Fantastic, Johnny. Thank you so much for all this great information.
You're welcome.
And again, Johnny's book is called The Most Effective Ways to Live Longer. And don't forget, you can follow ABC News Now on Facebook and Twitter. Just search ABC News Now.